Sul, hello, and Labis. Welcome to another episode of the Payne Family Ultimate Decades Challenge. Today is day 2 of 1362, and we're here outside of where the Matthews family is living, because Blanche is actually in labor currently at this exact moment in time. And so, do you know, and because of other things, but yeah, she aged up without us last episode. I thought that she couldn't, but she did. And she actually became Hate's children, which is so sad. I can't believe that. But yeah, it says that she is, I'm pretty sure, wait, are you in labor? Oh, no, she's not in labor. Okay, well, that's fine. Okay, yeah, you can look at your mommy. We're gonna go ahead and bounce her, and we're gonna feed her. And does she need any diaper change? No. So this is Althea. Althea became an infant. Marigold is the toddler. Marigold is the one who was named in honor of Blanche's mother, Marisol. Blanche is now an adult, a young adult. She failed her role last year, if you don't remember. It was really unfortunate. It didn't make me happy. I don't think Andreas is a strict girl dad. No, I really don't. And not for asking to play. Their house is still unfinished because really I haven't been here. After you've done that, you can put her down. I don't know if she's going to sleep, but you can put her down because you've got to go to the bathroom. And then we'll just kind of talk about kind of the big events that have happened lately while we're sort of like eyeballing these guys. Okay, actually, really quickly, I just have to make some changes and fix their house. Okay, that's probably good enough for now. Yeah, I didn't know that. I mean, I should have. Andreas wants to be a puppy. Oh yeah, I forgot. You're like really skilled, aren't you? Can you make a roast chicken for your family? Oh yeah, he's like really skilled. So yeah, she is obsessed with her husband. You, my young friend, can go and stack if you don't mind. Blanche has had a bit of a makeover. She obviously was born noble, but she's married Andreas, who was a serf. So they're somewhere between noble and serf now. She has had 2 of her baby tries. She's currently pregnant with this one. And she's kind of dressed less noble, but I mean, she's still pretty fancy. She's a pretty fancy lady. Oh yeah, you're cooking over there. And Andreas is like, he's a pretty good husband. He's fairly skilled. He's a great forager. He's a great archer. He's a great gardener. This house, this estate, was, in fact, can you grab a serving for your daughter? And you can stop doing that. This estate was where Ivor Hagen used to live. This is where she was put up by Henry of Grosmont after she had his son, Alaric. And so Adam had asked if it would be possible for his sister to use this for this point in time while he was figuring out what he was going to do about how to introduce this whole situation to society. So she is now living here with Andreas, and they're pretty happy here. Now, in terms of everything that happened last episode, okay, so it's currently the second day of this year, 1362, because it took the entire day to deal with the events that you saw at the end of the last episode. It literally took the entire day just to deal with eliminating those Sims. So I imagine that this episode is probably going to be a little bit long because it's probably going to be the entire year. So secondly, last year it happened to be both Kate and Marianne's time. Both of them had failed their roles at an earlier time, if you remember. And last year it happened to be that it was both of them. They both had the same year that was their year to finish their lives. So for Marianne, she passed away from a kidney infection. For Kate, she actually passed away from a spider bite, and that was also very sad. As you saw, I tried to plead. It was unsuccessful. Grim wasn't especially generous last year. Nobody really was able to be brought back except for one son, which we'll find out later. But something that did come back, as some of you know, those of you who went and looked at the rules to see what was going on, the thing that came back was actually the plague. the plague actually recurs over the next 100 years fairly regularly. But this one that happens in 1361 to 1362 is one of the most voracious returns of the plague, which is why we are going through it again. Apparently the plague returned in 1369, 1379 to 83, 1389 to 93, and on 13 other separate occasions in the 1400s. So it's not like the plague happened and it was done. The plague kept coming back. It just wasn't as intense as it had been. Now, to be honest with you, I was really on the fence about doing this round of the plague. I was pretty devastated at the end of the last plague. It took me a long time emotionally to recover. And so I wasn't sure that I had it in me to do another plague round. But the problem is that we're obviously playing a very historically inspired one on this channel. And the population in this area did not recover its pre-plague numbers until the beginning of the 16th century. Like, it took a long time for population numbers to recover. And it's noted that, like, just in England alone, the Black Death caused the depopulation or total disappearance of about 1,000 villages in total. So that was one reason why I was like, we should probably go ahead and do another round of the plague, just to sort of like illustrate that idea that it wasn't so easy for populations to just bounce back. They didn't just bounce back and it was, done. I also thought, just the sheer shock of the plague coming back, just the sheer shock of it, the way that it was, something that just popped up again, something that people had thought, this horrible thing from the past was done, but then it wasn't. I thought we probably should acknowledge that. Will you please change her diaper? I love this little baby. I actually really love Andreas, although I'm not super pleased about the facial hair that he's just grown. It's his birthday today. Oh, he already did his birthday without us. Oh, okay. I guess he must have done it right before we came here. Okay, so sorry. What was your trait that you got? I don't know. Maybe bookworm. Maybe he learned to read since he's been with Blanche. She taught him to read, maybe. Something that's interesting about this round of the plague, though, is that while the initial plague was relatively equal in terms of who it affected, later plagues, historically, were not equal. This plague of 1361 to 1362 is sometimes nicknamed the Plague of Children because it disproportionately affected children. However, it didn't just disproportionately affect children, it also disproportionately affected other populations. For example, a lot of people thought that the initial plague outbreak was really sparing towards the nobles, but in the initial plague and the Black Death, pretty much everybody died in equal numbers, nobles and the poor. However, the later plagues were not equal. Later plagues were where you started to see the rich be spared and the poor be disproportionately affected. Another really interesting thing is that some later returns of the plague actually disproportionately affected men as well. It's very well noted that this one was aimed at men or had a higher mortality rate for men. For example, one person of the time, Thomas of Walsingham, said, "In 1361 there was a great pestilence which devoured men rather than women." And another person of the time, John of Reading, said, "This year the mortality was particularly of males, who were devoured in great numbers by the pestilence." But yeah, it's noted that women died about approximately 10% of the time, whereas men and children died in very much higher numbers. And so the roles for this round of the plague sort of like, I don't know, they kind of are supposed to imitate that, although I have to say it hasn't worked out to be particularly accurate for me so far. Something that I didn't know until I was researching sort of this, oh, I'm sorry, Blanche, you can't actually do this. Can you please clean these things up for us? Because Blanche has to go and feed the baby. I'm sure that she's going to be really happy about that now that she hates children. But something that I didn't know until I was reading about this is that actually early modern and, oh, his sister sent him a letter. Yeah. Something that I didn't know until I was researching this particular plague is that Apparently, early modern and more recent occurrences of bubonic plague have shown a propensity to kill healthy young adults, particularly males. Now, I wasn't able to read the entire article for this article that I'm going to mention next because it was $15 to be able to read it, and if I paid $15 for every article I wanted to read, I would not have any money. But there was this really interesting article called The Plague Strikes Back, the Pesta Secunda of 1361 to 1362 and its demographic consequences in England and Wales. And it was saying that new data suggests that it was actually the second round of pestis, the Pesta Secunda, as the person calls it, rather than the Black Death that had the severe long-term demographic and socioeconomic repercussions for England and Wales. And the reason why I bring this up is because in the rolls that I've done so far, this does feel particularly true. The last plague did chop our numbers. It was shocking. We lost a lot of Sims, and it chopped our numbers down, way down. But so far, this plague has basically been the family branch annihilator. Like, it has essentially completed what the first round of plague started. The first round of plague threatened a lot of lines but left them with some hope, and this one seems to just be completely eliminating families. It's just a complete elimination. Blanche, you are so beautiful. I love her. Can you give her a compliment? These two are really in love. You can caress her cheek. I'm putting off doing his rolls until closer to when we have to do Blanche's rolls. It kind of feels like this plague is just finishing what the last one started. I had originally told myself nobody was getting pled for during this plague. And for the most part, that's been true, except for at the main house. At the main house, I have pled, obviously. One sim has been brought back. Only one. It was Edgar. Edgar was the only one spared by Grimm. All of the plague rules for this last year and this year will be at the end of this episode, so that way, if you want to see them, you can, but they are quite long, and so if you don't want to see them, that's okay too. Oh, you've gone to tuck in your daughter, and you say that you don't like her. Well, you could have fooled me, kid. Blanche has had 2 babies already. They've both been daughters. I think that she's pretty happy about that. Go, Blanche, go! I wish that this bassinet wasn't popping in and out, but what can you do? Andres is really right there. He's like, I am supporting you through this. Oh, and the baby is here. The baby. Blanche, another baby. Oh, it's a boy. They haven't had any boys yet. Okay. Well, what kind of a name do we want to give them? Maybe we'll name this baby Theobald. We'll call it Theo for short, obviously, because we're not crazy. Ugh, the curse of the twins. Well, what name? I don't know. Theobald and Leonard? Then it could be Theo and Leo when we call them. Yes. I mean, I wish you hadn't had twins, but I'm not that surprised. Twins run in your family pretty sincerely. And these are very... Yes, Andres, I do think you are family-oriented. And these are very distantly related to the king. Where's the other baby? All the way down here? Dang. In the bathroom? Oh no, in the servants' quarters. Right. Okay, Blanche, I know that you don't want to, but go ahead and... Hey! Oh my gosh, Andreas was like, me first, dude. This is my firstborn son, me first. Okay, fine, Blanche. You can take a bit of a break, and we can watch Andreas do it. For Blanche to survive this birth, she cannot roll the numbers 1, 11, or 15, and she must roll twice. First one doesn't count, so... First one, she's fine, and the second baby? Oh, also fine, thank goodness. For Theo, the first boy to survive, he cannot roll the numbers 1, 5, 7, 10, 12, 15, 17, or 20. He made it. And what about the other boy? Ugh, the other boy didn't make it, but Theo did. Now, I've already done the plague rolls for this family, so I'm just gonna be doing the plague rolls for the babies as they're born, just because it saves me a little bit of time. So for the kids, they have to avoid rolling the numbers 2, 7, and 9. Theo is the only baby who survived his birth roll. So for Theo, Yes, he made it through his plague. Heck yeah, heck yeah. That's exciting. Oh yeah, and for Andreas's young adult birthday, for him to pass, he must avoid rolling the numbers 6 and 14. So, he's fine. Thank goodness. Okay. No thank you. I don't know how he knows them. But also, I am so sorry, but you failed your roll and your time was actually this year, so I'm going to do this now while we're here. For Blanche Matthews to survive her young adult birthday, she cannot roll the numbers 3, 6, 11, 13, or 18. Oh, that was a close call. She's fine. Well, something is weird about these numbers. Oh my god. Oh no, I got the wrong numbers. She can't have rolled a 6 or a 14. Oh my gosh, she just failed her roll. She just failed her roll. Oh my god. Today is not going well. Today is not going well. Oh my god, it's so horrible. I've never actually done this one, and I've never seen it through gameplay either. I'm so sorry, Blanche. I don't know what possessed me. Don't. Come down here. I need you to save her. Please save her. What? No, Grim! You didn't even let me plead. Okay, 1 second. I'm just going to revive her and try again. That was a mistake. That's a really beautiful day. At least there's that going for us. Andreas, please. Grim? Please? Grim's gonna say no. Oh my gosh. Grim's so mean to us these days. Oh my gosh. I can't believe this has happened. You're the worst, Grim. Oh no. I can't believe that this just happened. Like, it's kind of like when it rains, it pours. Grim, you can go away. We're done with you now. Goodbye. Oh my gosh. I can't believe this has happened. On that note, though, I'm getting out of here. It's just depressing. It's just depressing. That's all it is. That's all I can say about it. So I'm gonna get out of here, and I will see you at the next household whenever we get there. Okay, so in the background, Everard got married. He got married to Maritza. You may remember Maritza because she and Edgar had a kind of like flirtationship for a while, but it never really came of anything because she's kind of looking for someone to give her a better quality of life. And so Everard is the formerly illegitimate but now legitimate second son of a noble. So he's not set to inherit very much, but he did get set up with a nice estate. And so she thought that he seemed like a good match. And so she and he got married actually the year that he could get married. I think it was in 1360. And she is currently pregnant. It's a boy! What kind of a name? Maybe we can just name it a normal name. Like Bartholomew. I'm sorry, I'm in a weird mood today. Okay, Bartholomew. I'm happy to change that name if you guys think it's too weird. This is not their child. Okay, I guess this is probably going to become a little series of sequences now that I've completely lost my marbles at the end. Let's go ahead and do these rolls. Well, you'll see them now. So for her to survive her birth roll, there is a woman who's given birth who lives with them. So she just has to avoid rolling the numbers 1 and 11. The first one doesn't count, so she's fine. And for the baby to survive, she cannot roll the numbers 1, 5, 7, 10, 12, 15, 17, or 20. And the baby lives. Okay, so the baby has survived. That's handy. Everard only has 4 baby tries, so one of them surviving is very good. Okay. Okay, so here's the situation with these guys. They have moved here. This is a little estate that they were granted. We've intermittently used this house for other families. I got this on the gallery. I didn't create it, but I think it's so cute. And I got it on the gallery at the very start of the challenge. So I have no idea who created it originally. But yeah, Everard and Maritza got married. They have a very poor relationship. I mean, he thinks that she looks basic looking. They have bad compatibility. She's jealous and squeamish. It's her birthday tomorrow, actually. For Maritza to become a young adult successfully, she cannot roll the numbers 6 or 14, so... Oh my goodness, that was close. But she's fine. She is fine. Okay. And she thinks that he is unattractive. And they just really don't get along very well. They have like the tiniest bit of romance from doing the woohoo, and that's it. They like really don't care for each other. Hardly at all. They live here with Sarah Bogart, who is the mother of the two of the maids who work over at the Lancasters estate. And they have currently an illegitimate little child here, Magdalena, because one of her daughters, one of Sarah's daughters, Mary, had a baby out of wedlock with Calderino Ezzo, which if you don't remember, this is the sim that Sophia originally found incredibly attractive. He is very much older. And so this baby lives here, and it should really have been an infant, but I did not think. At the last plague, I turned off aging because I was like, oh, the Sims are, you know, dying and I needed time to be able to deal with them and I didn't want everyone aging and stuff. But I've left the background Sims aging turned off for forever. So Sims just haven't been aging. So a lot of Sims that should have passed away and made space for new Sims in the background have not done that. So, yeah, whoopsies. But anyways, that's the situation with Everard. It's a quick flyby. But yeah, I will see you at the next household. You're having a boy or a girl? I kind of wanted her to have another daughter. Although I'm sure her husband will be happy to have another son. The baby's here! That's a boy again. Okay. Godwin it is. Godwin Woodhamses. Oh, Ingrid, you're so cute. Ingrid's growing up soon. But they're kind of taking their time. They don't know if they should trust this Joffrey character, which is an unresolved storyline, which we will get to soon. But let's go ahead and cuddle baby. See, you know, see how things are going. Do these rolls. For Kira to survive this birth, she cannot roll the numbers 1 or 11. That's it. So... Oh my gosh, you've got to be kidding me. Oh my gosh, why is this happening? It's just one after the other. Oh my goodness. For the baby to survive, it cannot roll the numbers 1, 5, 7, 10, 12, 15, 17, or 20. The baby lives. Oh my god. I have to do the plague roll. For the baby, it cannot roll the numbers 2, 7, or 9 on a d10. The baby still lives. Man, these babies are protected by the sacrifice of their mother's lives or something. Jeez. Oh god. Okay. Okay. That's it. We're doing this thing. Oh, Ingrid went to sleep. Joan, I'm gonna have to tap you in. I know that your dad is here, but I need you to come over, and I need you to be the one, because you have the best odds, and we have had really bad luck lately, and I need a win, Grim. I really do, so please work with me here. Because for me, I just came straight over to deal with this, because I couldn't bear waiting, because it's been, we had good luck. We were having good luck. Grim, can we please plead? Please? I don't know why she's so happy. Because she's happy about her new sibling. She doesn't feel anything about her mom's death. He's more over... Oops, I almost forgot. Grim? Oh, thank goodness. Grim gave her back. Would I have preferred to get Blanche back? The answer to that question is yes, but I will take Kira back. I will. Oh my gosh, can you imagine what kind of a monster Osmond would have become without his soulmate? Come on, Kira. Oh, she did it. She's back. Thank you so much, Grim. Thank you. You give her a great... Don't accuse her of spying. Give her a great embrace, please. What does she ask? Oh, advice. But they still haven't done their plague rolls, and it's her birthday in like a day, so I mean, whatever. Okay, well, so on that note, we're going to leave the Woodhamses, and tomorrow we're going to be with the main family, so I will see you when we get there. So for Antoinette to become a toddler successfully, she cannot roll the numbers 4, 8, 12, or 16, so... Oh my goodness! Oh my gosh! Okay. For Emma Payne at Harper's house to become a toddler successfully, she cannot roll the numbers 4, 8, 12, or 16. She's fine. For Alexis Miskinus to become a child, he cannot roll the numbers 3, 9, or 19. Thank you so much, Emma, for taking that number, and Alexis for taking that one. Otherwise, the two of you would have just been died. And Henrika is up for her young adult birthday today, so she has to avoid rolling the numbers 6 and 14. And she is fine. Antoinette has failed. I am going to go and plead for her now. Okay, since the pregnancy is supposed to go, since Elaine is supposed to go into labor tomorrow, and I'm here to deal with Antoinette's failed roll, I'm going to do the rolls now and do the delivery now, and say it's just like a premiere or whatever. So for Elaine to survive this birth, she cannot roll the numbers 1 or 11. That's it. She is fine, thank goodness. For the baby to survive the birth, he cannot roll the numbers 1, 5, 7, 10, 12, 15, 17, or 20. He didn't make it. Okay. So the baby, Gideon II's baby, did not make it, and his daughter just failed her roll. So the Blackshires, which was Alice's line, is basically complete. It's complete. It's over. Unless we can save this daughter. So happy birthday, Antoinette. And good luck to you, kiddo. Okay, so the toddler role has gotten her a extra up to a child. You know, this is imagining what Elaine would have thought her daughter would have looked like. Grim? Okay, he's not going to let us plead yet. Grim, go ahead and make your way in here. I can't believe Elaine's just sitting here. She's lost her husband, her father-in-law, her child, her other child. She's all alone in this world. And she's just sitting here eating a spinach salad. It just hasn't been going very well. I don't think it's gonna work, but we'll try. We'll try. See how it goes. Is he gonna say yes? Oh my goodness, he said yes. Maybe because so many other Sims have passed away. Thank you so much, Grim. So we get to keep one little piece of Alice's line. We might be moving them back to England just so that they're not in some completely separate place. Feel free to bring her back whenever, Grim. Didn't expect that to happen, but I'm happy about it. Okay, so one little piece of the Blackshires and of our daughter, Esmond's daughter, Alice, carries on. One teensy weensy little piece. Thank you, Grim. That is 2 Sims that we just got back, you know? Kira and this little guy. Thank you, Grim. I really do appreciate it. So here we are at Harper's little home. We're dropping by to see some things that are going on. It's a pretty full household here right now because, first of all, Emma, Oh yeah, it's Emma's birthday. She did her rolls already. She is fine. She makes it through. She's becoming a little toddler. It's very cute. Harper, can you put some birthday candles on there? As we know, Audrina became an elder not that long ago, and she's only 45, so I went ahead and changed her hair from being super gray because I thought that made the most sense. And Joyce now is living here with these guys. She and Kenrick are due to get married someday. Someday not that long from now. Because they've had a child together now and he wants to make sure that she's provided for. She originally named the baby Omari. Omari is up to age up today, but oh, there we go. We're going to change his name, obviously. That was just the name that was elected. Hey, you go to the bathroom. Oh my gosh, this one outhouse for all of these Sims? I think that's gonna be a problem. Can you actually just pick up your son, please? For me, this is a couple of days in the future, because I just couldn't deal, you know? You know, a name that we haven't had really at all is Harold, and I think that that was a fairly common name at the time. I could be wrong. You have to let me know if I'm wrong about that, but I'm gonna call this child Harold. Harold instead of Omari. Omari is a cool name, but it doesn't feel very appropriate to this time period is really my big issue. Joyce is cooking. Kenrick, can you go and bounce your baby? This house has too many kids. I'm gonna be real. Too many children. Way too many children. Audrina, would you please resume these? And Deanna, what are you doing sitting all the way out here? Can you actually put that away? And then you can go and harvest the bluebells. And all of the sheep died, and I haven't dealt with it yet. But I will in the future at some point. Oh, you're sleeping? That's okay. Your brother is about to use his diaper. What a mess. You are cooking, and Kenrick, can you come and come down here? With the baby, please. Do not put the baby down. Good, because you're going to hand him to your lady love, and she is going to feed him. So yeah, this house is very full. Please don't cry. Thank you. This house is very full right now, which is fine because Kenrick's not in a rush to have any more children. Having one out of wedlock was not the plan. The plan was, of course, to wait until they were married, so this kind of was not the ideal situation. Oh, we don't need to feed him twice. So Kenrick's not in a rush to have any more babies right now. He is content for Joyce to be living here, for his son to be living here, and that's how it goes. And of course, Harper and Audrina, I mean, theoretically they could have another child, but I don't think that they're going to. I don't think that it's the right call for them because, like I said before, I kind of assume that if any Sim were to have a baby at this point in their life, that would just be a death sentence, and I'm not interested in doing that. Oh, she wants to become friends with Joyce. That's really nice. So I think that, you know, Harper has 3 children, and of course it would be nice if he had more because we never know what's going to happen in the future. Yes, you can like fitness Audrina. In fact, Audrina, if you want to, you could go to the village. Oh, there's not really much to do there. You could go to the docks and collect seawater, maybe? Just by yourself. I don't think we need to take any children with you. So, yeah, you know, it's a lot of babies. It's a lot of Sims. But Harper has a fair number of children. Emma, Alfred are... Oh, they're both sleeping down here. That's so cute. This baby is pretty tired. Can you use your diaper? I like to deal with things, you know, I like to deal with things immediately. I don't like them piling up on me. And you can put him down. Oh yeah, we don't really have enough beds in here anymore, but that's okay. And then Deanna, oh, you're cross-stitching? Well, maybe Harper and Audrina were like, yes, Joyce, you're welcome to come and stay here until the big wedding. However, you and Kenrick are going to be sleeping in separate beds and separate bunk beds, and so that's why That's why Kenrick's still sleeping there, and Joyce is going to have to sleep there. And I don't know where Deanna's going to sleep, because Deanna can sleep on the couches here. Realistically, at this point in time, what actually happened is that pretty much everybody slept in one big bed together. So, you know, that's just how people would have slept. But we can't do that in The Sims, so I know, I'm getting you food. Sorry for the delay, kiddo. It's just there's a lot of you and there's only one of me. Oh, you're gonna go to sleep too? Okay, everyone can go to sleep together then. Except for, of course, a few kids. Oh, hey, Evalda. Ah, Evalda, we're gonna, I think, pop by to see you tomorrow. Sweet, sweet Evalda. Oh. Yeah, work starts for Harper soon. Maybe his daughter can get some sleep when he goes to work. He's very sad. A lot of Sims have died, as you know. So anyways, I'm going to leave this part of the Payne family here. Soon, hopefully there will be a wedding, some nice wedding bells, but in the meantime, I will see you at the main family to see what life looks like there. So I will see you when we get there. Okay, so here we are at the main Paynes, where everything has changed. It has been about 2 days. So most of the Sims are out of grief. Of course, not Esmond, not Edgar. But yeah, we missed it all while we were away. And yesterday it was actually Edmund's birthday. He passed his roll. I just hadn't done his age up yet until we got here. So here we are. I will go ahead and do his casts. Okay, so there's Edmund already all grown up. Can you actually please potty train him? So I'm happy that he's a toddler now. He's got no skills. Thanks, bud. Thanks for that. Edwina, Beatrix is just, Beatrix is feeling some grief at least. But yeah, the others obviously are a bit young, and Lucia, I guess, just forgot. Okay, so I was wondering about this. Since we were away, I didn't know if they were going to get grief, but apparently they did while we were away. They still got grief, so... Lucia has the blues grief type. Playing instruments. I don't know that we have any of those for these guys. I'm not against them getting like a meditation stool. That's okay with me. I'm so sorry, Esmond, because you have seen literally more tragedy than anybody in the whole world, but we have a whole farm that we have to deal with here. Nobody gets a day off. I'm really sorry. How is the baby doing? She's fine. She's going to be on bottles. I don't have it in me to bring somebody else in right now. I'm so sorry. I can't help you, Edwina. You're on your own. We have a whole garden to tend to. And Edwina, you can go... Do you want to go play with the chickens? Hopefully they're going to be nice to you, because if not... we aren't really in the mood to have any nonsense from any chickens, if you know what I mean. So, yes. This poor man over here, Edgar, he was brought back again. He was pled for successfully. Esmond was successful in asking Grimm. But I don't know that he's happy to be back. I don't know that he's happy to be back after everything that he's lost, you know? This is the second, like, true love of his life that he's lost. In a way, he's very lucky because so many of his... I know, I'm so sorry. In a way, he's lucky because so many of his children were fine. Like, he was really fortunate that his children were okay. Oh, we have to harvest. Okie dokie, it's harvest day for us. I did not know. So in a way, he's really lucky because all of his children survived. That's incredibly fortunate. As we've seen, some Sims have been that lucky and some Sims haven't. He got very lucky. However, you know, at what cost? I've just realized that means we're going to have to do taxes, so I had better... I'm glad that we came here. Otherwise, we would have just missed our harvest day completely. I'm really sad that Amelie failed her role because I really liked Amelie. don't worry, we are going to finish her whole story. It's not that we are just like going to abandon the rest of like the story of what happened with her. It's just that it's kind of been a little bit difficult to fit in lately with everything else going on, as you might imagine. So we'll get back to that once the plague is over, once we're back on the normal episodes. But yeah, you know, it's so frustrating that we just keep losing our wives. When she went down with Edgar, part of me was like, you know, maybe that's a good thing. Like, obviously, I don't want them to go down, either of them, but at least she wasn't going to be alone. But then, of course, Edgar came back, and now Edgar's the one who has to go on alone after everything, and all of the other losses he's had. And I don't know, I just feel really bad for the guy. Oh, our babies. At least they're still alive. At least we still have Edmund, our only boy, and we have our 2 daughters, one of whom is screaming because she wants to go to sleep, and Edwina, who's chatting with her brother. He's pretty cute. He has a lot of the Payne genes in him. You can see it. He's got the Miskinus eye color. Miskinus Payne eye color. Beatrix is a snuggly sleeper. That is easily the worst one. Edwina's got a lot of her mom. Beatrix seems to be a good mix of the 2 of them. All I know is I don't know, you know, I don't know what's going to happen next in terms of Edgar moving on in his romantic life. I mean, does he even want another wife? Probably not, but I think he's going to have one because he's the heir. Okay, Edmund is aggressive. Well, maybe that'll help you survive. I'm not against a baby being aggressive these days. Be aggressive then, if that's gonna help you live. Oh, she's talking to Edwina. I think I don't know, we've got a really close-knit family dynamic here at least, and so that's pretty nice. But yeah, it would have been nice if we didn't have to, like, you know, lose people all the time. That would have been pretty nice too. By the end of this episode, all of the plague rolls will have been done and all of the Sims will have been lost. So you'll have to let me know if you think we should be trying to do a poll to bring some people back, or if we should just say that's that and that's how the cookie crumbles. I don't know. Oh, it's getting pretty late. Okay, so in 1362, of course, the plague has come back, and that's one great tragedy. However, another great tragedy is that there was something else that happened this year, which was called the Grota Mandreka, which is translated to the Great Drowning of Men. And this was an extratropical cyclone that came through Europe, basically, and it was super intense. So the Chronicle of Anonymous of Canterbury wrote that on Saturday, January 15th, dreadful storms and whirlwinds such as never been seen or heard before occurred in England, causing houses and buildings for the most part to come crashing to the ground, while some others, having had their roofs blown off by the force of the winds, were left in a ruined state, and fruit trees and gardens at other places, along with other trees standing in the woods and elsewhere, were wrenched from the earth by their roots with a great crash, as if the day of judgment were at hand, and fear and trembling gripped the people of England to such an extent that no one knew where he could safely hide. And I mean, this whole idea of hiding as well is pretty interesting, because the same author goes on to give a few examples, including one where a certain brother John de Sutton of the London Convent of the Order of Hermits, a strong man, went to close their doors there, and a powerful and violent gust of wind picked him up off the ground and hurled him in through the middle of one of the windows into their garden, where he was eventually left without having been injured. So these winds were like crazy. These winds were incredibly powerful. The Anonymous of Canterbury apparently blamed the storm on an upcoming joust, which he called the harbingers of future evils, but also noticed that there'd been a lack of workmen post-previous plague, and so many buildings went unrepaired. What's interesting is that Edward III paid for a lot of improvements to buildings around this time. However, classic Edward III laid out a bunch of punishments for laborers or merchants who, quote, exploited the need for repairs based off of my understanding of Edward III, and you're welcome to let me know if you know that I'm wrong about this. That basically means that probably the laborers and the merchants wanted extra pay post-plague, post-second round of plague, as so many people had passed away. There were so many fewer of them, and then there was all of this work to be done, and they wanted higher pay, and Edward III probably was like, nah, you're gonna get punished if you ask for higher pay. That's my take on the situation. I could be wrong, but that seems to fit with my understanding of Edward III. Now, the winds like that continued for 6 to 7 days. Like, it wasn't like it was a one day and done situation. It hit Ireland on the 15th of January, and Dublin was particularly affected. It hit Canterbury, it hit London, and generally some coastal cities were hit. For the most part, England escaped relatively unscathed, although it is notable that there was a city called Ravensrod that was lost to the ocean. It was lost to the sea during this event. And in addition, there was another place called Dunwich. Let me find it. Yeah, the port city of Dunwich in Suffolk had a thriving population before this event. It was in the 11th century. It was the 10th largest town in England. However, it was almost completely destroyed in this, and to this day, that same city only has about 120 residents now. So a ton of the buildings were just swept away and lost to the ocean. A lot of people were as well. However, like I said, England got off relatively scot-free. The Netherlands, Denmark, and Germany were horribly affected. The sea spread more than 25 kilometers inland in the areas that it affected on that northern part of Europe. Like, it was a huge climactic event. It's estimated by modern historians that between 25,000 and 100,000 people died just in the Netherlands, Denmark, and Germany. So, it was kind of a pretty big deal. I contemplated trying to add that into the rules somehow, but I couldn't figure out how, and so eventually I just kind of thought I'd drop it in. And since we're going through the plague, the plague's good enough, right? So sorry, Edwina, do you mind playing with your auntie? It's just that your fun is pretty low and I want your skills to go up. Edmund, please. You're becoming quite the little character, young sir. Okay, your father will play with you since you are a bit of a creature of the outside world. Okay, so yeah, it was a massive climactic emergency. If you have an idea for how we can include that in the rules, I'm happy to do it, but I couldn't quite figure it out, and then kind of was like, you know what, I think we've done enough. You know what, I think Edgar might be in a strict parent phase right now, especially with his son. Especially after everything he's lost and the life that he's had. I actually think that kind of fits. So can you please use your diaper? Lucia, that's very cute, but instead of doing that, I could have sworn that we had an instrument. Instead of doing that, why don't you just go upstairs and play? That can help your grief. And you can then help her by changing her diaper. And you can also bounce her, and she's hungry even if she's refusing the bottle, and I'm afraid Mom's not here. No. Mom's not here to help out, so she's gonna have to deal with it. Oh gosh, yeah, it's a depressing turn of events. I'm not gonna lie. I'm pretty upset. It's a less than ideal situation. Can you stop obsessing over your son? Like, yeah, he's a pretty cool kid, but I need you to go take care of yourself and to eat, and then you're off to sleep. You and your grandfather can sleep together these days. Beatrix is... what is that? Oh, it's just the candelabra thing? Hey, that's okay. You don't need to worry about it. You can put her down, and then you can go and grab a serving too. Beatrix is going to lay down. And Lucia, actually, do you mind coming down here? And you can come and tummy time with her and play with her. Because we love our babies, you know? Oh gosh, it's a good thing we've still got Lucia. You know, another thing that was so depressing was the fact that we lost Cole. Cole was like such a good part of the family. And I was actually really looking forward to seeing who he became as a teenager. I was really looking forward to seeing what kind of a life he got up to. When he failed his role, I think I was completely in shock when those roles happened. That whole, everything for our part of the family, it was like complete and utter shock for me. So, I don't know. I'm still kind of reeling from it because of all the Sims that I thought we might lose, that certainly wasn't one of them. I didn't think Cole was going down, and especially if Cole or Edgar was going down, I really didn't think that then as well would also lose Amelie. Like, losing all of them together just really, I don't know, it sucked. I don't know what else to say about it. I guess we'd better do the taxes before we forget, so 1 second. Okay, so we started the day with 59,697. We've obviously finished it with 62,815. So we made like 3,118. I know that the number is not exactly right, but we're taxing ourselves on prairie grass today, so I guess it's fine. So our harvestables come to about 6,168 simoleons, which means that we owe taxes on 9,286 simoleons worth of stuff. And since we now pay 50% taxes, that means that we actually owe 4,643 simoleons, which is crazy because that means that we're going to finish today with less money than we started with, even though we found a golden egg. Oh, I did something wrong. Whoops. I subtracted the number from our pre-harvest amount. 1 second. Okay, so that means we still did finish with less than our pre-harvest. Means that we finished with 58,172. So, you know, it's not an ideal situation, but I think that now that we've done our taxes, we've checked in on the main family who are all depressed, but everyone's putting a brave face on it except for Esmond, who, in fairness, you know, it isn't like this is his first major loss. Other than that, the rest of them are putting a brave face on it and sort of like just chugging along. But I think on that note, we're going to go ahead and leave these guys here. And we are going to move on over to, I think, Simas's house. I think we're going to spend the next day with Simas, so I will see you when we get there. No! Our crops, I was just sitting here watching the skies go by, and look, so many of them are messed up. They were perfect. Alright, so here we are outside of Simas's home. It is what? Fall? Spring? Summer. And, oops, I actually did not mean to do that. And it's really funny because it was actually the boys' birthday recently. It was Alexis's birthday. He has become a child. Look at him. He's so cute. He wants to be, he's a music lover and he wants to be an artistic prodigy. Davidus is still being the most adorable. I can't wait to see what he ages up as. He inherited alluring from his father. And Danielis grew up to be a charmer, and he also apparently inherited being alluring from his dad, so it's pretty funny. Of all this, just like, you know, of all this, just like the most serious, most focused female sim, and her husband is like a romancer. A crazy dude. But yeah, these guys are doing totally fine out here. Everything's going just perfectly fine. They've got a good amount of money. They don't have a crazy amount of money. Danielis is taking care of himself. He also chose to get the same hair as his father used to have. Davidus, if you want to bite your father, I'm not going to stand in your way, bud. Oh, she wants to do something flirty, but she really wants to go spend some time outside. You know what you could do is you could take your son maybe Evalda is gonna try to, actually I want to see Simas get bitten. I know that sounds really mean, but the heart wants what the heart wants. So Evalda's gonna take her oldest son out there to go fishing, but we're gonna watch Davidus bite his father. If you want to, you can kick him. I know it's not very nice, but it's just so funny to me when the toddlers get like all crazy. And then Simas will discipline him, of course. Aren't you the sweetest little thing? As he like kicks him. Listen, kid. I can't believe he's going through with that. Can you discipline him and ask him not to be mean? Oh, he's kind of mean and then nice. Oh my gosh. How much do you want to bet that Davidus is going to be very much like his father? And then you can maybe play with him. Is he about to smack you or something? He's biting him again. He's so bad. No, we're not going to be difficult. Nice try. Whoa, whoa. I want you to... Can you mentor your son? Yes, please do. That's so cute. Evalda really wants her son to have some good skills. I don't think is that interested in being outside. He wants to be creative. He wants to be into music, but he's a kid. And so his mom is like, listen, oh my gosh, look at his face. He's like, I don't want to be out here right now. And she's like, listen, I'm the mom and I'm going to teach you survival skills. You never know when you're going to need them. You never know when the next raid could come through and me or your father could get taken. You never know what could happen next. So you're going to have to learn how to fish just in case. And he's like, Mom, what are you talking about? I'm like 5 years old. And she's like, listen, you just got to be prepared for anything. That's what I imagine Evalda is like as a mom. She's like, listen, anything could happen. And her kids are like 3 years old. Oh my gosh, Simas can't leave his son alone. Danielis is like so sweet over here. Do not play in that toilet. But he like can't leave Davidus alone, even though Davidus is just going around bullying him. Well, you're not going to get read a book, but you can, what's that, this thing? So something that's kind of interesting is that, you know, the plague actually really affected this part of the world pretty sincerely. It was like pretty well noted that it had a big impact this round of the plague. And the grandmasters were actually afraid to send their... Did you just use your diaper when we were trying to potty train you? Simas. The Teutonic Order was actually afraid for a while of sending their armies into this area because the plague was super intense out here. But since these guys had kind of, you know, a terrible time last time, they've just got the same odds. Also, there's no numbers or details about what exactly went on because written record keeping was so poor over here. So I don't know exactly how the numbers were different or if they were different, but, you know, I feel like I just thought it was worth mentioning. Also, you know, by 1362, the Grandmaster of the Teutonic Order had tons of Lithuanian captives because in March of 1362, he led his forces against Kaunas in a siege. Kaunas used to have a really big fortress on top of a hill. But basically, 2 weeks into the siege, the Livonian Order came to join the Teutonic Order, and they came not only with reinforcements and regular siege weapons, but they also brought a new type of weapon, which was a small gun that fired lead bullets. And this turned the tide. By Palm Sunday of that year, the knights stormed the walls while fire just spread and rampaged. And Kaunas was captured, and the fortress was heavily damaged. So by that point, a bunch of Lithuanian soldiers and men and people were basically taken captive. And so the Teutonic Order had a bunch of captives that they could use to trade, which they did do. But it's interesting. A lot of things are going on in terms of like the Order and the Samogitians and the Lithuanians. But that all kind of keeps developing over time, and so that's kind of the way that we do it. Oh, you've caught a rainbow fish, I see. And you became good friends with Alexis from fishing together. That's cute. See, you weren't that into it when you first came out here, but you're pretty happy about it now, aren't you? Davidus is biting his brother. Oh, he's so adorable. Look at his little face. Oh my gosh, he grabbed his hand and pulled it to his mouth to bite him. I didn't know that's how it worked. Oh my goodness. This kid is such a little heartbreaker. He's like, what's your problem, bro? Pull it together. Look at how happy he is with himself. His brother is like weeping his little eyes out and he's like, what? What do you want to say about it? I'll tell you what, this kid is going to survive any attacks that get launched their way. That's what I've got to say about it. Are you pretending to be nice to your brother now? Or is your brother being nice to you and so you're going to let him go? Danielus has got the classic mischievous eyes. These are the eyes that have been in the family since the very first Sims. These are Darius and Vilcus's eyes. But your eyes are very pretty, little bud. You look so sad. You poor little kid. Well, what can you do? I think that I'm actually going to pull it to a close here, even though it's only partway through Saturday and we haven't really spent that much time with these guys. Because I know that this episode is long because I've already edited the first day and it was already 30 minutes, just that in and of itself, let alone the other 2 days and the plague rolls. So I'm going to pull this one to a close and hopefully we'll be back on a relatively normal schedule for the next year. But buckle up because all of the rest of the families have their plague rolls coming. If you don't care to see the plague rolls sort of like being rolled, then you don't have to. You can obviously skip through that. And as I mentioned before, let me know in the comments if you think that we should vote to bring Sims back. If you think how many you think we should have come back. If we do, there's probably a poll up by now. But I hope that you've enjoyed this part. Prepare yourselves for the plague rolls. I'm preparing myself too. Let's hope that they go well. And I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye, everyone. The way that this plague works is that women who are teen and older only have to avoid rolling the number 2, whereas everyone else has to avoid rolling the numbers 2, 7, and 9 on a d10. So for Arthur Brewer first, the first one doesn't count. What about for Sawyer Brewer? Oh my goodness, you've got to be kidding me. Shut up. Oh my gosh, okay, what about Emma? Oh my gosh, this is a nightmare. And what about her illegitimate child? So the illegitimate child made it and nobody else did. She rolled the one number that she couldn't have rolled. That's crazy. Okay, next, Conrad Brewer's home. Elizabeth is first. Indestructible as always. What about Aiken the Third? He's not living with them, but he still counts. He's got a 3. What about Alexander? He survived. What about Aiken? By Aiken, I meant Conrad, by the way. What about Brenna? She's fine. And the baby Rose is also fine. Nobody failed at that household. I guess Arthur's household got all the bad luck. Next up, it is Heath's home. For Heath first. He's fine. What about for his partner, Ingrid? She's fine because she's older than a teen, so the number 9 is not deadly to her. What about for Inga, his daughter? She's fine. And what about for Alvar, his son? Also fine. Wow, they were lucky. Okay, and what about at Alec's home? Alec first. He's fine. What about for Portia? She's fine. And what about their baby? Also fine. Okay. Main family first. Esmond first. He lives. Edgar. Gosh. Edgar doesn't make it. You have an heir that you like, and he goes down. What about Amelie? Oh my gosh. The only number she couldn't have gotten. Oh my gosh. What about Lucia? Lives. Cole. It's a bloodbath. Edwina. Lives. Edmund. Lives. I had to double check. I didn't trust my eyes. Beatrix. Lives. Oh my gosh. Up next, it's the Flores family. Fernando first. He lives. What about Idas? She lives. What about Alvaro? He lives. Catherine, the sister, lives because she's older than a teen. She's a teen, so she's safe. What about Leonore? She's fine. And Lyra, also fine. The Flores family escaped unscathed. I guess we took all the bad luck, didn't we? After them, it's the Scherer household. Sophia first. She's older than a teen. She's fine. Her husband, Matt, is fine. Aldona is fine. Egla is fine. Matt, the son, oh gosh. You know, something I've noticed about Sophia's family in Plague is that only half of her children from any husband ever survive roles like this. Gerdinus and Agnes, Sten's illegitimate children, are living there, so Gerdinus first. He's fine, and Agna is also fine. Okay, so those children were fine. Just Matthew. He was so cute. Next up, it is the Blackshires over in France. So Gideon the older doesn't make it. Gideon the younger, oh my goodness, doesn't make it. The wife, Elaine, is fine, and the daughter, Antoinette, also lives. And the last one for this half year is the Jacobsons. Edwin first. He lives. His maid Harlow doesn't live. Wow. What about Kennard, his son? Oh my god. And Matilda, his daughter. Oh my goodness, the twins. Miskinus, Simas, you're up. Simas first. He's fine. What about Avalda? She's fine because she's older than a teen. Alexis is fine. Davidus, my favorite, of course. Why did I say it? Well, it was already in the world. Danielis. Well, two of them survived. Next up, it's Joris's family. So Joris first. Okay. Joris's lover, longtime lover, Julien. And Eduardo, his son. Oh my god. Well, there's one line of Simas's, there's one line of Simas's lineage gone. What about the Matthews family? Andreas first. Oh my god. Blanche. Yeah, we'll see. Marigold. Oh my goodness. Oh my gosh. And their baby. Their baby made it. For the Martins, they just have to avoid rolling the number 7, I guess. So for Vampire Boy, they have to avoid rolling it twice. He's fine. What about for Beatrice? She's fine. And Celine. They're fine. They're all fine. The Martins are fine. Wow, that was a brutal one. Okay, there you have it. Yikes. Okay. For this round of the plague, we are starting with the Narvas. Irma first. She lives. What about Henrika? She lives, and Henrika's husband, newly married husband, doesn't live. Oh my goodness. Wow, okay. Next, it's Harper's house. So Audrina first. She's fine. What about Harper? Kenrick? Oh my god. Kenrick's partner, Joyce? She's fine because she's a lady who's teen or older. Deanna, Harper's daughter, is fine. Alfred, Harper's son, is fine. Emma, his youngest daughter, doesn't make it. And Kenrick's only child lives. Okay. Oh no, this is so tragic. I'm so thankful that we were able to plead for Edgar successfully, because if not, I don't know what would be happening right now. At the Greystrokes, it's James's family's turn. So James the older first. He lives. His son, James the second, lives. What about Mariel, his oldest daughter? Also lives. And Marion, the last baby he and Marion had, also lives. So James is spared, his whole family. Up next, it is the Hoggins. Rollo first. Oh god. Rollo goes down. What about his wife, Mariel? She lives. His son, Beckett, lives. That's shocking. And Thora, his daughter, doesn't make it. This is some rough rolls. These are some rough rolls. Okay. And last, it's Sten Nilsson, who dies. And Ivor, his half-brother, who lives. Ivor is unkillable. Sten passes away. Great. Okay. Okay. Let's go ahead and start with the Lance family. So Johanna first, because she's the oldest. Shut up. This is the only number she can't roll. What about her husband, Zachariah? Oh my goodness. What about Vilkas? Vilkas is fine. What about Jelva? Oh, she's a teen now, so she's fine. Oh my gosh. What about Johanna's son, Albert? He's fine. Johanna the third is also fine, and Agatha is also fine. Oh my gosh. That means that Johanna's left behind 3 children, but she and her husband just passed away in the plague? Oh, at least Vilkas and Jelva are teens. Oh my gosh. Okay, what about the Woodhamses? Osmond first. He lives. Kira, his wife, is fine. Ingrid de Beauchamp is fine. I was gonna say I might have had to override that one or plead. What about Joan, their daughter? She's fine. What about Edward? He's fine. What about Osbert? He's fine. And the baby, Godwin, is also fine. Yeah, this one was pretty sparing to the nobles. Some of the plagues actually really went after nobles, but this one didn't. This one was sparing towards the nobles, so that kind of makes sense. Up next, it's the FitzRoys. So Adam the second first. No. What about Petronila, his wife? Oh my god. Adam, his son, is fine, and Clifford, the manservant, is fine. I'm telling you, there's something. I've got a theory. I'll talk about it. Next up, it is the Lancasters, which is Alaric and the 2 maids. So Alaric first, he's fine, thank God. And the first maid, Martha. What about Ingrid? Oh my gosh, both of them go down? Okay, up next is Jefferson, the Jefferson Greystrokes home. Jefferson the second first. He's fine. What about Evelyn? She's fine. Jefferson the third lives, and Stephen also lives. They were very spared. Doville's line is like protected by something. I don't know. I've got some theories I'm gonna talk about at the end. So what about Everard is the next one? So it's Everard first. It was actually his death year this year, or next year. So that's fine. I can live with it. What about his wife Maritza? She lives. Their son Bartholomew lives. Sarah the maid lives because she's older than a teen, and Magdalena the illegitimate child also lives. Maritza might be pregnant, potentially. It's hard to say. Up next, it is the Freeman family, and that is Sten's partner Anastasia, and her father the executioner, and the singular illegitimate child. So Anastasia's father first makes it. What about Anastasia? She's fine, and the baby. The baby is fine. Up next, it is the Smiths. And the Smiths are in pretty serious trouble. So Graham first. He lives. What about Pate? He lives. Okay, what about Bess, the daughter? She's fine. Cade is fine. And Ginny. Okay, Ginny doesn't make it, but do you know what? At least Pate, Bess, and Cade survived. It's really not great. That's only 3 of the 11 baby tries that they used who survived. It's not great. It's not great. I'm not gonna lie to you. So I don't know. You'll have to let me know your thoughts about that. But some crazy stuff happening out here, man. Some crazy stuff. Sorry, I've got a scraggly throat again.